Ladies and gentlemen, I want to first of all salute and greet you. I must apologize that we've started a bit late, but I want to thank you for the perseverance of being on this platform tonight. My name is Maganda Evans Tabingwa, and as I had already introduced the topic tonight, harnessing of innovative technologies for purpose of helping the developing countries or the least developed nations. Tonight, I have with me a young, brilliant man by name of Naftali Wambugu. Naftali Wambugu is currently a PhD student in University of Xiamen in China. But I'm happy tonight to say and confirm that Naftali was one of my undergraduate students at Kampala International University. And Naftali went to the University of Nairobi, did his master's degree before he went for his PhD in information technology in China. So this is the type of person we've brought tonight to you to speak to us. Just briefly, you may be aware that we have started this platform called Tanya Innovations Africa with purpose of getting to the young people, the business community, policy persons, in a way of making sure that we can coordinate and communicate together and find ways of how we can develop our continent, Africa, and our specific countries. We shall be having these type of topics over time to be able to help our young people to use this platform as a source of credible information that can change your mindset and can help you to be partners that change our nations instead of leaving things to only leaders. And it's for that reason that I am excited tonight to host one of our own, Mr. Naftali Wambugu, tonight. Naftali, do you want to say hi to the viewers?
Thank you, Mr. Maganda. If you can hear me.
Yes, loud and clear.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you for that kind introduction. I want to welcome all our viewers around the world who are able to join us live. I want to pass my warm greetings to my friends and the people of Uganda, my family and friends in Kenya, and also in other parts of the world, including my colleagues in China, to join this talk and discussion about innovative technology. And we shall be able to dissect the topic and see how it can be able to help us and help our generations. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Naftali, for that brief introduction. Our dear viewers, as part of the continents, other continents in the world, Africa has been faced with so many challenges. Sometimes we have assumed these problems can be solved by the politicians. Others have thought the problems can be solved religiously. Others have thought the responsibility belongs to the old. However, there is a pattern that has consistently been coming over, which needs us to change the mindsets and also the way we interact to find solutions that can help our continent change. Just briefly, we go deeper into the details of this topic. We are in the fourth industrial revolution. We had the first industrial revolution when there was discovery of steam engine in the 70s, 60s. We then had electric innovations, which led to mass production. We still did not appear anywhere. We've had the computer technology generation. We still didn't do much. Today we are talking about the fourth industrial revolution, robotics, artificial intelligence, virtual reality. And here we are going to talk about more innovative technologies. How far have we prepared ourselves as Africans? And now, today, we have a young African gentleman from University of Xiamen who wants to take us through some of these innovative technologies and how we can utilize them to develop ourselves. Now, Naftali, when you talk about
Yes.
these innovative technologies, innovative solutions, what are you trying to paint in the minds of the people in Africa?
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Maganda. The debate about innovative technology is one that we cannot assume. The reason is, right now, as you have well put it, we are lagging behind in various phases, or facets in Africa. If you look at our economic prowess, if you look at our healthcare systems, if you look at the solutions that we usually use in most of our, businesses, learning, organizations, we usually outsource most of the solutions, whether it's IT or otherwise. We cannot be able to manage food security for our people. Various times you've heard our people suffering from famine, hunger, and related challenges. We still are trying to manage accidents in our roads, traffic in our roads. Governance is an issue. Effective production and supply of energy is a challenge. And when you talk about even doing business amongst ourselves, it's still a problem. Therefore, we need to debate and even discuss and understand why is it that developing countries, and more so sub-Saharan Africa, is lagging behind in all these areas. Apparently, there is usually a link between countries with slow economic growth and the limited access to most of the technologies. And this results to something called digital poverty. If we are not able to address and even harness innovative technologies, we shall always have this challenge.
Okay.
And therefore, we need to come together. We need to yes?
No.
We need to bring our minds together.
No, go on. Go on. Yes, we can.
Sorry. Can you hear me, please? Okay, thank you. We need to bring creativity and even our innovatory power together so that we can look at some of the solutions we can be able to harness.
Okay.
Moreover, we know that by invoking technology-focused solutions, we can be able to help develop economy. We can be able to boost our productivity. We can be able to improve education, communication, and many other areas. Let me put, let me borrow a quote from one guy who's called Sebastian Django. He said that the only thing that makes the battle psychologically tolerable is the brotherhood among the soldiers. This is a battle that we are having, in Africa. It's a challenge we are facing together. We must come together, bring our minds together, bring our exposure, our innovations, and even our creativity.
So,
that we are able to
thank you, Naftali, for those comments. Now, what are some of these innovative technologies you are talking in regard maybe to agriculture, e-commerce? Yeah, can you be able to break down some of these innovative technologies that we are looking at?
All right. Thank you. Sorry for to our viewers for that lapse. So I was trying to talk about the reason why we need this debate about innovative technologies. I said that innovative technology is a fairly wide topic. We are looking at any idea that is conceived to produce a solution, but it must have a scientific and a technological knowledge for a real or even a perceived need or a gap. Whenever you're looking at any innovative technology, it must be having some of these properties. One, the idea must be repeatable and verifiable. you must document it, document the methods and even the approaches, and even have a fairly solid underlying framework, whether it's scientific or even technological. It should be, having these parameters. So such that one day you don't just use, some gadgets and make a helicopter and then you say you have an innovative technology. And we have these various applications of innovative technology, as you've said, in healthcare, in energy, and various other areas. For instance, let's look at health, in the health sector, because we still have a lot of challenges, in providing reliable and affordable healthcare for our people. With the proliferation of big data, machine learning, computer vision, and related technologies, with also the increased smartphones and access to the internet, is it possible for us to use these technologies to amass better healthcare solutions for people? Let's take an instance. How many cases do we document for treatment of various health conditions in most of the sub-Saharan Africa? Every time we have a scenario or a case that it's being treated, are we able to document all the processes? Or do we treat each and every case every time as a new case? Is it possible to have a database where we can be able to, collect all this information, the processes, the care that we usually, have for our patients, the conditions and the treatment procedures, such that we shall have gained knowledge, so that every time we have a case, we can be able to use the knowledge from the knowledge base to guide most of our medical officers or even our medical practitioners. Okay. When you talk about, for example, patient management, is it possible to have a centralized database such that every patient, historical data and medical conditions can be stored and accessed every time he is seeking, some healthcare solution? I'm sure many members you talk about, many people talk about security and privacy and such issues. These are issues that are everywhere in the world. But it's possible for us to use innovative ideas to solve some of the recurrent challenges in healthcare. Okay. We have seen, for example, currently in China and in many other parts of the world, we have smart wearable devices that you use to monitor, for example, your biomedical information, such as blood pressure, blood sugar, heartbeat rate, your temperatures, and it can monitor even your cardiac rhythm if you have any, problem with your heart. And all this, it attracts this information, stores it in, in the cloud, and all this information can be accessed to monitor your performance. You can be able to detect, for example, an occurrence of a condition prior to its severity. So these are some of the challenges that we face, that most of the times when we are treating, conditions, we are treating when it's too late. How do we treat, how do we, for example, maintain the conditions of our aging, population? Is it possible to track, their daily existence, health information? I have seen, for example, some innovative ideas like smart glass. We have been having a problem of, tumors in our women. And using a smart glass, it can be able to harness, for example, temperature changes in the body, in the tissue, and transmit this information to someone's smartphone. My friend, who is my colleague, he usually wears what is known as contact lenses, capable of monitoring blood sugar in real time. This lenses sends, the information about your blood sugar, on your smartphone, and it also turns and relays alerts to a doctor. So these issues are the ones that we are trying to look at. How can we harness them to solve some of the challenges that we face? Okay. If you allow me, we can dissect more about innovative technology in commerce, doing business.
Yeah, I think that would be an important area because we're talking about businesses. We may have people who are online right now, and they will want to hear about some of these innovative technologies in commerce.
Okay, thank you.
So you can briefly put there, and then I could interest you to talk about, I think you're talking about visioning or some of those vision technologies, or specific project that you are currently involved in. Yeah, so that we can get that and maybe close.
Okay, thank you. Now, for instance, let's look at how you can use just a simple innovative technologies in commerce or in carrying out business. When you own a smartphone, that should be a tool to help you improve the quality of your life. Smartphone is not just for social media and communication. It has, it is a fairly invaluable device. Take an instance, someone who owns a hotel and he prepares, meals for sale. Why should the geolocation of this business limit the person, such that your customers are only within reach of your geographical zone? Is it possible for you to harness, for example, some markets from a distance? It's possible, This lady who does some dressmaking, in some place. Is it possible for her to extend her customer base, that such that he is not limited in a certain town? Right now, if you look at the use of smartphones within our region, if you look at the mode of transport systems, borders, how many border people usually are used for transporting, people? But is it possible for us to hire, for example, borders such that they can deliver, they can learn deliverance? In China, we have a platform called Taobao. Taobao, yeah.
Okay.
It's possible for you to buy anything from anywhere across China, and it will be delivered within hours or within just a few days, So the lady
Naftali,
yeah,
I would be interested because we've seen so many technologies that are in developed world.
Recording in progress.
We've seen so many technologies in developed world, which can simply be replicated back in Africa. But I see many policy analysts or people who are involved in policies trying to like they are trying to reinvent the wheel. What is this problem that is so hard for our for our citizens or Africans who are like in China, like you, or people who could be in advanced countries like United States of America, to simply replicate these technologies? What makes that to become a problem?
Thank you for that question. There are no limits. There is no limit to relentless human effort or human will. I believe that we have what we need. Right now, most of the smart devices, they are being used, and there is much penetration of smart devices. There is access to the internet, and in the internet you have this data is available. Using technology such as machine learning, we have sharing of code. So it's possible for someone to learn and train himself, if he wants to develop, for example, an app. Right now it's possible to access, computation power. If you're talking about hosting an application online, if you're talking about maybe a solution that requires very complex processing power and memory, it's possible using the technology called distributed systems. You can be able to hire and even lend processing power using the GPUs for a unit time. You can hire for 1 hour, and all this is done online, such that you just load your code online and it will be processed within some unit time. So what we lack, number one, is the will. There must be the will from the people. Number two, we might need some mentorship. I want to say this, that most of the time, one's exposure, limits the dimensions and the dreams that one can have. And that's why we need mentorship. That's why we need a platform like BLG and Tanya Innovative Africa, so that we can bring all these minds together and we can be able to create a window of opportunity to our members and our people. Okay. So there is nothing that is impossible. Right now in most of the countries we have 4G. 5G is on the way, but we must be concerned about what is it that 4G can work for us before even we start to talk about 5G and edge technology.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I thank you for those highlights. But as you're aware that I think I'm in office for BLG Africa for less than say maybe 3 months. I've also put this Tanya Innovations Africa platform. And I think we have to ask ourselves very serious questions. When COVID came, we all looked very hopeless as a whole continent. We saw our presidents offering completely no solution. We saw our scientists not offering any solution. And our population was basically at guesswork and the mercy of God. We've put the platform of Tanya Innovations and BLG Africa to start asking ourselves important questions and also to be serious with what we are doing. It appears sometimes we pretend that we are doing something, but I think this is going to cost us. So this platform is now to give space to all Africans in China, in Asia, I would say, in the United States of America, in Europe, to make us start discussing of the future of Africa, but also to start looking at solutions we can give. If we keep on thinking that we shall blame the governments, we are in a, I don't want to use the word I'll use, but we are in trouble. Because we are complaining that there is corruption. We are complaining that the government is not putting resources, but we have the knowledge. Why can't we be able to work together as partners and start on the small things that we can put in place, other than waiting for maybe politicians who may not be able to give us those solutions because we are not about to have them. So I don't know what you think, Naftali, that we can do within our means, like the way we are talking today. How can we start making these small steps that can help our continent get better?
And this goes down to an issue that I've always thought about. There's a question that we must ask ourselves as the people. We have leaders, but what if leaders fail to lead? How can we get into the gap? It is us, the people, who must, it is not a must that we lead from front. Sometimes you lead from side.
Correct.
Sometimes you lead from the middle. If you look at top, founders, the world giant companies like Tesla, the Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon, the Zuckerberg, the owner of Facebook, and even many others. These guys are not politicians. These are innovative minds that just dreamed. They dared to dream, and right now they are controlling some of the greatest economies. In terms of investment, in terms of that, and so on and so forth. So there is no limit into what we can achieve. And let me put it this way. If you look at some of the challenges that we face every day, I'm always in pain when I see accidents, for example, in our roads. Whereas I know these are some solutions. There are existing solutions that can limit and even mitigate these accidents. Let me give a very good example. In some countries in Africa or in sub-Saharan Africa, we usually implement what is known as the speed limiters on our vehicles. Okay. And there is always a challenge because when you implement a speed limiter on a vehicle that is flying from Busia all the way to Uganda, that distance is too far. If you limit at 80 kilometers per hour, or at whichever speed you limit it at, the load and the terrain is not even. So it means that even though it's passing on an urban center, it is still have the limit of 80 kilometers per hour. If it is flying on a fairly rugged terrain, there will still be a challenge. What if we are able to adopt, for example, what is known as smart speed limiters? These are geographically defined speed limiters that will limit the speed of a car depending on the geographical location. If it is in an urban center and it's supposed, the vehicle is supposed to travel at 50 kilometers per hour, that is the speed limit that will be set by that device. If it is in an education center or a close an education center and the speed limit is 20, it will set that vehicle cannot exceed that.
Okay.
And there are so many other areas we can, discuss about all this. Let me give you another example. For instance, if you allow me, energy sector. We have been having a lot of problem with our energy sector, in terms of, production or generation, in terms of, enhancing efficiency, energy generation, and even consumption, And if you look at how developed countries, have been able to apply active research in some of these, energy systems or energy issues or energy sector, you shall find that some of the companies have invested in transforming wastes, to clean and reliable energy. There's so much research that is on solar energy and how it can be able to light our streets, power our cameras and our home appliances. And this offers low energy costs, that is reliable and efficient. If you look at, for example, the Tesla, the leading electric automobile, these are cars that are powered using electric power, So why is it that we cannot implement some of these solutions even to our borders, such that someone doesn't have to use, fuel, okay, but he can use a rechargeable battery to power, the border. Why is it that we cannot adopt, for example, smart lighting systems so that we can reduce the cost of, lighting our space, all right? And why is it that we cannot adopt, for example, a technology called smart grid platforms? I have been in Uganda for the year. I've been in Kenya and a few other countries. And I still find people employed by power companies to go reading meters, at in every home, okay? Why is it that we need all these people across the country doing the meter reading, or even checking, faults and stuff like that? These are things using smart grid platforms can be done remotely. Someone doesn't need to knock at the door to read the meter.
Naftali,
for your electricity.
I think you have a lot that we'll share, go on and on, but it appears that time is not on our side. But briefly, I think as we get into the summary of this event, I would like to acknowledge the following persons on our social media. Madam Annette Nsovani, we thank you. We are following you live. Lucita Milana, Cosette Visual Studio, Robert Laniki, Ivans Wangulu, Lucita Milana, Robert Kariki, Lizzie, who else here? Nifeth Obonyo from Nairobi. We thank you so much for tuning in and sparing time. We shall keep on bringing more similar programs, but as we go into, I also want to, I can see Mary Nyacheo Maganda. Thank you so much. That one, she's usually called the dangerous substitute. So thank you. We always appreciate your time, Mama. Now, Naftali, as you finish, I would be interested as we move forward. Do we have an association of Africans in China, for example?
Okay. Thank you. We do have Association of African, students in China,
Yes.
and I can also say that we have another association called the African Research Foundation.
Okay.
This is a foundation that started as postgraduate fellows from all over the world. We have
Okay.
members from Canada, US, from South Africa.
Oh.
I am a member of the secretariat of that body.
Yes.
And I can tell you, and I can say we would wish so much to use Tanya Innovative, Tanya Innovations Africa.
Yes.
To use that platform so that you can be able to communicate, share ideas, and even implement research, active research into some of these subsistence needs we're talking about.
Okay, great. So, Naftali, the reason why I was asking is because as Business Live Global Head of Africa and as the leader of this Tanya Innovations Africa platform, we are on very serious issues. I want to call upon your association in China, and we're also linking with Africans in North America to coordinate with people on ground. You have very many brilliant ideas like the way I have interacted with you, but let us make sure we cause this transformation back on our continent. However much you work and do work back in China, we have to find ways to talk to this common youth. Right now we are having internet technology, social media. What we are trying to do as Tanya Innovations Africa is to make sure that whatever impact you can, take it back to the village in our home countries, and Tanya Innovations Africa will make you to get to this last man in the village. We actually trying to make sure that this platform has subscribed members in every district of Africa. We are mapping every country, then the districts, and then we shall be able to get all our youth, business people, people who have all innovative ideas throughout Africa to tap into the expertise that some of you have in advanced countries. So as you go, please take this as part of engagement point. And I hope that we shall be able to liaise with your leaders back in China. I've also gotten in touch with leaders in the United States under UNAA. I think that's for Uganda. And I'm also touching base with other leaders, professionals actually, in North America. So please help us to get in touch with the network in Asia to help us change our continent. Could you please just give some last remarks of what you think, as we summarize tonight?
Okay, thank you so much. I want to say this: the future, our future is in technology. When you look at cloud computing, edge computing, internet on things, AI technologies, distributed systems. This is where the world is heading. Now, I want to challenge all the viewers to think in this context. With the new proliferation of new technologies, we are at a point where, in the near future, most of the devices you use, such as laptops, will not have any storage. They will boot from online. That means you shall need to subscribe to every content that you have on your laptop for you to listen to music, just the same way you subscribe to YouTube and stuff. You shall have to subscribe to use all the softwares and applications, tools and services. What if we have such a chance or such a time, such that standalone softwares are locked out? Where shall we be, in Africa? We need to think and start creating solutions. That's where the wealth is.
Yeah.
And also companies that are, right now companies are investing in these opportunities. They invest in the future. Right now it's possible for you to lend space, to offer third-party solutions such as hosting applications, such as storage or providing storage. Okay. So these are the issues that we need to think about and even expand the opportunities. It's no time for the youth to say that there are no innovations, whereas the world has 7 billion people. Think what you can create and what you can sell out there.
Okay.
The mobile phone that you use was created from outside. Most of the solutions we create, they are from outside. What is it that you can export to the world? As I wind up, I would have to take this message to the government. Internet access enables access to information. And in my own opinion, it should be considered a human need as we talk, because access to information is critical for all decision making in the world. To the young fellows in academia, I want to challenge you that human potential is limitless. Make a dream and act, and you should act now. Invent yourself and align yourself to a path with the current opportunities in the future. To the members of the faculty and academia, it's important to align to the current research and address the subsistent needs that we have in our society so that we can spur development. To achieve this, we must think global and act local towards global.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Wow. Thank you so much, Naftali. I would like, first of all, to thank you so much for your time. But just before we go off, in case we have viewers who have questions, please just type your questions before we go away, because it was one of the comments we got from the viewers last time that they never had a chance to ask questions. So if you have any questions, just type them before I release Naftali to go. But to the viewers, to Naftali and all other colleagues listening, in all the industrial revolutions that we have had, the first industrial revolution, which I mentioned, where we talked about the steam engine, and then I talked about the electric revolution, where we talked about mass production. Then I talked about ICT technology, or the information age. Africa was nowhere. And we are in the fourth industrial revolution. These are exponential revolutions. I want all of us to stop blaming anybody for our failure, but every little thing we can do, even you being alive with the physical energy you have, let us start to make that transformation. Because it's very clear that the people we assume to make the change we want are actually either overwhelmed or sometimes they don't even know what to do. So we are calling upon the youngest, the most productive population of the world, which is the young age. Let us come together. Let us learn from others. And I think this is where Tanya Innovations Africa is saying that our brothers in Europe, our brothers in Asia, the educated people, let the education we are talking about be feasible in our actions. And I want to call upon all our brothers in advanced countries, just talking to young people about the technologies, talking to people how businesses are being done, giving people ideas of how they can start these businesses, talking to university students, giving them a feel where the world is going. It is very, very much productive. And that's why, Naftali, I want to thank you. Don't underestimate the time you have given us today. You must have touched 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That is good enough. So let's not concentrate on the government saying so and so, because we are not going to have those solutions. But we thank the small steps that you have taken to talk to us tonight, and I hope that you have been a blessing to 1, 2, 3 people in Africa. And I think if we keep on doing this and other people are doing the same, it means by the end of the year we'll be talking about 1,000, 3,000 people. In 10 years we'll be talking about hundreds of thousands, and for sure we'll have added a development brick to change our continent. So at this point, allow me ask you, Naftali, to give any closing remarks, because I haven't seen any questions as of now. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry, I'm seeing a number of questions coming in. Let me just read this. Lucilla, you say we should celebrate this. Thank you so much. I can hear Vincent M. Chef. You are saying the world is now a global village, and there is no gain in saying that developing countries and those in the African continent have a lot to gain in harnessing innovative technologies from the world over. Okay? Then you say, this is Muhammad Ali Lubega from Busoga. He says, you really need to link up all associations in diaspora. Yes, that is what Tanya Innovation and BL Africa is trying to do. Then Robert Kaniki, you say very true. Our grandpa, our grandpa, I don't know whether they are referring to Naphtali. They are saying that our grandpa, we are proud of him. Now there's a question from Vincent M. Chef. You mentioned Chinese Taobao. You mentioned Chinese Taobao as an innovative technology. How can it be effectively implemented in a country like Kenya? Do you want to react to that, Naphtali? You are the one who talked about Taobao. How can it be implemented in Kenya?
Thank you so much. Allow me to say this. Innovative technology is a wide, discussion. That we can discuss a lot about this, but technology alone cannot solve our problems. And let me repeat that. Technology alone cannot solve our problems. We must cultivate ground for innovative technologies to thrive. I'm talking about the impeccable human character from individual level to the society level. The reason why some of these technologies are thriving in some of these countries, like Singapore or even China or some other parts of the world, is because there is the leverage. So, for instance, take an instance, we are talking about Taobao. Taobao is a platform that allows you to buy any product from China and you collect it at your doorstep. We want to be sure that when we implement, this is an idea that can be implemented so easily in Africa. We don't need to innovate, to reinvent the wheel. We just need to, fine tune the solution, okay, and then implement it as it is. But then, do we have human character, the values that our society holds? Do we still believe that when I order that garment or that dress from a certain tailor, that I will receive it with the same quality, the same size? And I can tell you how they do it in China. For example, China is a country of 1.57 billion people. How do they do it? They do it in a very simple way. We have what we call stores, and this store is online. If you buy a product and you're not comfortable with it, you can return it and they will refund you the money. If you buy a product and you are happy about it, you do what is called a recommendation. You write a comment about the product. If you comment, if you make a negative comment on the sale, it will affect all the other viewers and any party that is interested in buying that. That means that person will never sell this product any other time. Okay. Besides, the money is usually, the payment is usually held by a third party. That means, for example, if you are selling laptops, I just need to log into your shop, or in the platform of Taobao, select the laptop that I want with the specifications, and then I do the payment. The moment I receive the laptop, that money will go to a third party. The moment I receive the laptop, that is when the money will be transferred to the seller's wallet.
Okay.
And the recommendation system that we're talking about is very powerful because it ensures that if, for example, you have negative recommendations from different clients, then the Taobao platform will lock you out.
Okay.
And these are some of the ideas we need to do, but we need first to harness that, integrity issues, human character and dignity, so that we are able to, allow these innovative technologies to penetrate in our market and in our country.
Okay. Thank you so much, Naftali, for those observations, ideas. I think a gentleman by name Vincent M. is saying that the world is currently a global village, and there should be no reason why Africa would be saying it's harnessing this innovation from other places. Yes, I would say that, Vincent, you are correct. And it's the reason why we are talking the way we are talking. Because if the world is a global village, technology is available everywhere, then why are we still backwards? Yeah? And this is not only my question, but that's why we're talking about important questions. What is it that is not working? We have governments in place. We have universities in place. Could it be an issue of the mindset? Yeah? The world is global. The technologies are available everywhere for everybody, but we are behind. We have seen the COVID situation where we were almost, I think we survived by God's grace. That is what I would say. It's not even science, yeah, until of late when we have gotten these vaccines. So I think after COVID, we have to think different. And the reason why you are seeing the platform like Tanya Innovations coming in place is because of the embarrassments we witness during this COVID season. And the whole issue is about how we are thinking. We think somebody else has our solutions. We have no way to measure what we are doing. We have no way to coordinate amidst ourselves and ask ourselves hard questions and look for these answers. These answers come from us, and we need to start looking at every point of any trained personnel all over the world. We must connect that energy to make realistic solutions for our continent, Africa, and our countries. Ladies and gentlemen, time is over. I want to thank you so much for the time that you have given us, those who have been viewing, those who will view later. We shall keep on having this type of engagements every week. At a later stage, we can make them daily. We shall be talking. If you have any innovative idea within our countries, within the continent, get in touch. If we shall be bringing in our brothers in developed nations, those who are the educated, even the non-educated who are doing very nice jobs, we shall bring you on board. And what we want is to make sure is that let us be coordinated. Let us start feeling the efforts each one of us is making to contribute to the development of our continent. Naftali, would you want to say bye to the viewers?
Yeah, I want to say bye, but before I say bye, I think I would just wish to, maybe collect the viewpoint that, as you have correctly put it, we are not trying to harness, innovative technology from other countries. Not at all. Technology is, as we said, innovative technology is about ideas. It's about concepts, But we have takeaway lessons. We don't need to innovate, to reinvent the wheel. There are some takeaway lessons. There are some takeaway ideas we can, adopt from all over the world. And even if we have solutions in Africa, the other world is to borrow idea from us, And that is where now the innovative technologies comes in. If we have precision agriculture in Singapore and in other countries, we need to borrow, the knowledge and the ideas from them and from the implementations. If there is code and there is implementation, or the concept papers, we can be able to replicate the same. So that is just something that's important. But I really want to appreciate and thank all our viewers. Okay, I want to, really take this chance to say thank you. Here in China is almost 2 a.m. at night. But I want to say that we are always, we have all this passionate and goodwill, to help and even motivate and even mentor our young brothers and sisters. Have to dream, there is no limit to whatever we can achieve. And I want to believe that any other time you invite us or even invite our friends, I want to appreciate the members who, commented there. Some of them are my friends. I know them from the respective institutions here in China. And I want to believe that every other time you engage us, we shall be available. Okay. And any other time you need our knowledge and even our exposure, we shall really offer.
Okay.
It. Yeah. And then
thank you so much.
Yeah.
I think as I close, I'll not like to leave out Vincent M. Chefo, who says, I wish to know more about Tanya Innovations Africa, please. Vincent, Tanya Innovations Africa is a social media platform that we have put in place. We target for it to have membership in all districts of the continent of Africa. So the 54 countries of Africa, we are looking forward to make sure that we get members subscribed, but then we shall go into those countries and make sure that we have our youth from different districts within those countries part of this membership. The major idea is to have one common platform of communicating to our brothers and sisters, of which we think that if we have unity, directed, purposed unity, and bring out our best from one another, communicate uniformly, I am sure we are going to get somewhere. The reason why this platform is different from traditional media, you will want to know that if, for example, you have a TV station in Kenya, it is, of course, doing business by having audience in Kenya. If you have a TV in Uganda, it is, of course, targeting to have members in Uganda. Yeah. So the question comes, when do we learn about Africa? When do we learn from each other across the continent? When we talk about Pan-Africanism. So this platform would give a chance to get that audience, because we are now talking about social media. So instead of having our young people or different people using social media for wrong reasons, I would say it is a very powerful tool to make sure that we can communicate constructive development ideas to one another. So at one point, we want to make sure that Tanya Innovations Africa, whether we have a president in South Africa or we have some of our prominent Africans, the Obamas of this world, the Oprah Winfreys, and many other African elites, or people who have very innovative ideas, it will be a one-stop point for you to come and find those ideas in one common area. It is the whole idea of Tanya Innovations Africa. And we know we are going to achieve this. This is our second show, and I'm sure that we shall get there. But otherwise, we want to thank all of you for your time. We wish you a good night. For those who are in other countries where it's just beginning, we have colleagues in Canada. I think there are a number of hours. I don't know whether there are 7 hours. Our colleagues from Europe, we also want to thank you, those who are in listenership. Tanya Innovations Africa is also working with Business Live Global, a company that started in Europe, and we are also having Business Live Global Africa, fortunately, which I head. So Tanya Innovations Africa is part of Tanya Innovations Company. But Tanya Innovations Company is the one that is working hand in hand with Business Live Global to champion business ideas in Africa. I thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Have a good night. Let us meet next week. Thank you and God bless. Bye-bye.